You step off the wooden stairs at Billingsgate, and the River Thames hits you like a wall. Fish, tar, wet timber, and smoke that sticks to your throat. Now look around. This is the engine room of London in the early 1700s. Everything you eat, wear, build, and burn flows through here. But here's the twist. Over the next 130 years, the river is going to lose its grip. Not all at once. Upgrade by upgrade, bridge by bridge, lamp by lamp, rule by rule. And by the time we reach 1830, you'll feel it. This city is about to snap into modernity. Stay with me, because the most important change isn't the bridge, it's what happens after dark. It's early morning in the 1700s, and the docks are already alive. Lumpers haul barrels up from the wharves, boots slipping on wet planks. A porter shoulders a crate and pushes past you. Somewhere nearby, a clerk counts sacks of grain, lips moving as he tallies, paper, ink, and tired eyes. The river is the highway here. Downstream, there are no bridges for miles past London Bridge. So if you want to move goods or move yourself, you bargain with watermen, pay tolls, and trust your balance on slick wood. Soft grey light hangs over the water, filtered through cold smoke. And beyond the masts, hundreds of them, you can sense it. This city connects to the world through muscle and negotiation. But once you step into a boat, you realise something terrifying. London isn't built for comfort. It's built for speed and risk. You walk along the bank, and within minutes you're near the Custom House, London, watching the river do its work. Vessels of every size crowd the Pool of London. Colliers from Newcastle upon Tyne, Dutch flyboats, fishing smacks, passenger wherries darting between larger ships like water beetles. The tide is in. The current runs fast. Watermen are busy. You hail one down. He names his price. You counter. He shrugs. Deal. No tickets, no schedule boards, just voice, reputation, and whether you look like you'll pay. Here's what people forget. Before London becomes a modern city, it's a city of constant bargaining. Every crossing is an argument. The waterman pulls hard on the oars, angling upstream to compensate for the current. Around you, other boats do the same dance. You hear shouted insults, jokes, and warnings passing boat to boat. The water smells like sewage and industry. You keep your hands close. You keep your balance. A barge slides past low and heavy, close enough that you feel the wake slap the pilings. That's the river's reminder. It does not care who you are. You land on the far side and someone collects a small fee. A penny here, a handshake there. The whole system runs on small payments and quick trust. The crossing took 10 minutes, if you timed it right. But watch what happens when you leave the river. The real pressure isn't on the water, it's on the streets. You cut inland, the lanes tighten, the noise thickens. And then you emerge into Cheapside, and it swallows you whole. Shop fronts line both sides, their signs hanging overhead. A golden boot, a painted teapot, a carved lamb. No numbered addresses yet. You find a place by its sign and its reputation. The cobbles are uneven, worn smooth in some places, broken in others. A woman sells apples, 2 for a penny. You hand over a copper coin warm from your pocket. She bites it lightly, checking, then nods. Trust, but verify. A hackney coach rattles past, forcing pedestrians tight to the wall. The driver doesn't slow. There are rules, but enforcement is patchy. A bell tolls the hour, 10 in the morning. Time moves by bells here, not by clocks in your pocket. Now here's the secret. London's next upgrade isn't stone or iron. It's information, and it smells like coffee. Roasted beans pull you east toward the Royal Exchange, London. A coffeehouse door opens into noise and smoke. Men sit at long tables. Some read printed news sheets. Others argue about trade and politics like their lives depend on it, because sometimes they do. A bowl of coffee costs a penny. Bitter, strong, no ceremony. The walls are covered with notices, ship arrivals, auction announcements, letters held for collection. This is where information pools and spreads. Someone reads aloud a report about Parliament. Another disputes the meaning. A third laughs and says the real story is what isn't printed. A man writes a letter in the corner, quill scratching steadily. When he finishes, he'll pay a porter to carry it across town. No unified local post yet, just networks of trust, routes known by working men. Information moves, but it still moves at human speed. And while men argue inside over paper, outside London is about to change its shape, permanently. You follow the river west through the decades. Then you see it. Stone arches climbing out of the Thames. Westminster Bridge is being built, finished and opened in 1750. This is only the second bridge across the river in central London, and it changes the geometry of everything. Neighbourhoods connect, routes realign, land values shift, the city rebalances itself. The construction site rings with hammers and overseers' shouts. A crane lifts Portland stone. Workers guide it into place on scaffolding. Boots clatter on planks. A whistle blows. Shift change. London is stitching itself together with stone and iron. But once routes open in daylight, a question becomes urgent. What happens when the sun goes down? Night falls and you walk into Mayfair, then towards St. James's. Instead of total darkness, you notice pools of light, oil lamps mounted on posts. They don't fully connect. There are still gaps of shadow, but it's different. The night is no longer a complete blackout. A lamplighter moves down the street with a long pole, adjusting wicks, coaxing flame. A watchman stands at the corner, breath visible in cold air, staff leaning against the wall. Crime hasn't vanished, but the risk calculation has shifted. You can see faces, you can see who's coming. And when streets get safer, the city moves faster. That means more wheels and better machines. You duck into a workshop near Leather Lane. It smells like sawdust and leather oil. Iron springs flex as a coachmaker tests them, fitting them to a carriage frame, checking tension. Outside, coaches clatter over cobbles on scheduled routes between inns. Turnpike roads are improving, vehicles are lighter, trips shrink, time compresses. In a corner, an apprentice sketches a cylinder and piston, an idea. Steam engines already pump water and power a few mills. The dream is bigger, motion without horses. He shrugs like he doesn't fully believe it, but he keeps drawing anyway. If you want to see London's future, don't look at palaces, look at systems. And nowhere is the system more brutal than the docks. Time accelerates into the 1800s. You walk east, the smell strengthens. Then the marshlands give way to walls, gates, an industrial fortress. West India Docks. Enclosed basins carved out of land, ringed by high walls and guarded entrances. Ships unload into warehouses protected from the thieves who once swarmed open wharves. Paperwork is checked, access controlled, patrols visible, order enforced. A crane lifts a hogshead of sugar. Men walk inside a wheel to power the mechanism. Human muscle converted into machine rhythm. Efficient, almost cold. This is the river being tamed into predictable profit. Now watch this, because the next upgrade doesn't just change work, it changes how late the city can stay awake. As dusk falls, you reach Pall Mall. London and the quality of light changes. Brighter, steadier, almost unnatural. Gas lamps burn with a clean, strong flame. You can read a newspaper under them. People stop to stare. London's first public demonstrations of gas street lighting happened here in 1807. Instead of oil and wick, the lamplighter turns a valve. A soft pop. The lamp catches. Shops can stay open later. Streets feel safer. The night becomes usable. Not everyone is convinced. There are fears of explosions and monopolies, but the momentum is obvious. The city is learning to extend time. And once the city controls the night, it starts controlling the street plan itself. Old London bends. New London imposes straight lines. You step out of tight medieval lanes and into something geometric. Regent Street. Wide. Designed. Uniform buildings. Grand sightlines. Shop fronts with plate glass windows displaying goods like staged scenes. Printing is booming. Ink and paper smell sharp in a shop window full of books, maps, magazines, satirical prints. The cost of printing drops. Variety explodes. The street is busy with carriages. A crossing sweeper clears a path for a well-dressed lady. She drops a coin without looking. And then you notice something else. New order in human form. Because the next upgrade isn't a building, it's a uniform, and it changes how safe the city feels, instantly. A constable stands near a corner, uniformed, unarmed except for a baton. This is the era when the Metropolitan Police appears in 1829. Not a loose parish system, not a patchwork, a professional force. The city is being managed now, policed, lit, planned. Workers emerge, soaked and streaked with mud. Pumps thud. The air feels wet, dangerous. An engineer explains the shield, how it lets men dig while protecting them from collapse. It's expensive, experimental, not guaranteed. But that's the point. London is betting on the future now, and once you can build under a river, the next question is obvious. How fast can you move ideas and people across the country? In stationers' shops near Charing Cross, talk turns to paper, postage, reform. The idea sounds radical. Letters shouldn't cost a fortune. Communication shouldn't belong only to merchants and the rich. Mail coaches already run on schedules. Horns announce arrival. The system is improving. But the pressure is building for something simpler, cheaper, faster. An information upgrade ready to leap. London's networks are tightening. Now, this is the edge of the cliff. Because once steam touches the map, distance stops meaning what it used to mean. You reach the edge of the city in 1830 and see surveying equipment, men in top hats pointing at plans, investors talking numbers like prophecy. The route that will become the London and Birmingham Railway is being committed to. Within a few years, Euston Railway Station opens in 1837 as the London terminus. The city still sounds familiar, hooves on cobbles, vendors calling, bells marking time. But underneath it all, you feel the new undercurrent. The old patterns are about to break. Movement is about to become mechanical. Light is spreading. Information is accelerating. London is ready. The foundation era is over. The explosion is next. If you lived in London during these upgrades, what would you choose first? Faster travel, brighter nights, or cheaper communication? Tell me in the comments.